Hi friends, this is a third B experiment in AR/VR lab. To create a scene, go to the asset folder and in the scene folder, right click in the project window and click create and scene and press enter after naming the scene. And this is our new scene. And I'm going to create a new folder named 3B so I can place my models in here. So I'm going to right click in the hierarchy and create a cube. And I'm going to create a sphere and a capsule too. Now I'm going to reset the transform of the cube and I to the sphere and capsule by selecting using the shift key. And now I'm going to move its X position at 2 for sphere and -2 for capsule so that the cube is in the 0th position, equally spaced between them. And I'm going to reset the transform of the main camera and I'm going to adjust it like wherever I want. I'm just adjusting to get a better look in the game scene. And I'm going to right click in the hierarchy and create a empty game object and name it as shapes and reset its transform. I'm going to child all the shapes I have created and I'm going to right click in the 3B folder and create a folder and name that as materials. And I'm going to create a 3 new materials. So first material, I'm going to name it as red and I duplicated using the control D 2 times and I'm renaming it to blue and I'm renaming last one into purple. So I'm going to assign the color for each material, red, purple and blue. Now I'm simply going to drag and drop in the material in the 3D model. Now I'm creating a 3D game object, a plane, and I'm positioning it by resetting the transform and just position it wherever I want. Yeah, right there. And I'm moving the capsule to the plane. I can remove the capsule collider from there and I can remove the box collider from the cube in the inspector and I'm positioning it and I'm going to remove the sphere collider from the sphere so that it's placed correctly in the plane. I'm going to duplicate the plane and create a box model like a previous exercise. I'm going to rotate it to the 90° and positioning it in the corner of each plane. And I'm going to fast forward this to create a box. So yeah, this is a box. And I'm going to create an empty game object, name it as a floor and reset its position and child all the planes to the floors so that it looks neat. And I'm going to create a point like there and I'm going to reset its transform and I'm going to create a light game objects and put the point light inside the lights and the direction light inside the light and I'm going to create a new spotlight too. And reset its position of the spotlight. And I'm positioning it so that the light ray can fall on the 3D models. I can turn off the direction light so that on point light too, so that I can visible spotlight at a time. I'm increasing the intensity of the light and just positioning it properly and changing the range and the angle. You can play around, and I'm going to duplicate the spotlight and I'm going to place it for a cube. And I'm going to duplicate once again and place it for a sphere. And I'm positioning it. You can position it wherever you want. So yeah, this is a spotlight. I can select all the three lights using the shift, or you can select one by one using the control. And I'm changing its range. And I'm going to create a new empty game object inside the light game object and name it as spotlights. I'm going to child all the lights inside the spotlights game object. Yeah, you can turn it on and off from the inspector window. I'm going to create new material and name it as a floor, and I'm going to give it a color and apply to the floor and the walls also, just by dragging and dropping it on the 3D model. I'm tweaking that color. You can also change the emission of the spotlight color too, but I'm going to leave it as in the white. So Control Z is for undo. And in the point light, I'm going to first turn off the spotlight and go to the direction light, check the light and turned off the 3D model. And in the point light, I'm going to position it above the cube. And I'm going to increase its intensity too, or the brightness. And if I give a soft shadows in the shadow type, I can see the shadow of the game object from the light. So I can do the shadow for spotlight also. You can check off the point light and turn spotlights. And for all the three spotlight, I can uh, draw the shadows. I prefer soft shadows. So yeah, this is the setup of the light. I'm going to turn off the spotlight too. So by default, all the lights inside the light game object is turned off, and I'm going to create a canvas in the hierarchy, and I'm going to right click in the canvas and create a toggle button inside the UI. And I'm focusing on the toggle button. You can double click the toggle in the hierarchy, or you can press F in the keyboard by selecting the toggle. I'm just moving inside the scene window to get a good view of the UI. and I can increase the scale of the toggle using the scale tool, and I can change the, I can on and off the skybox from the menu button there, and I'm positioning the toggle button somewhere there. And when I expand the toggle button, I can have the background and label. In the label, I'm going to change it to a point light and increase its font size and the scale of the button too. And I'm going to duplicate it for the direction and the spotlight. So I am changing the name of the duplicated point toggle to a spotlight and a direction light. And inside the spotlight, the label game object, I'm going to change its name to spotlight. And in the direction light, I'm going to change it to a direction light. Change the label to the direction light, and I'm going to position it uh, in the scene window properly. So yeah, this works fine. And now I'm going to create a new folder and name to a scripts. And inside that folder, I'm going to right click and create scripting and a mono behavior script. I'm going to name it as toggle, maybe function, maybe toggle function. And I'm going to press enter or double click to open it in my Visual Studio. First of all, I'm going to remove all the given void start and void update functions. I'm going to declare a public variable there for my toggle button. And you need to import a Unity UI so that the toggle button will work. So I'm going to import it using a using keyword and Unity engine.ui. Oh yeah, the spelling is Toggle. Okay, now it's work fine. And I'm going to give it a name, maybe toggle btn. And I'm going to create a game object, a public game object. And I'm going to name it as point light and a spotlight and a direction light game object too. The keyword public is used there to show the variable in the inspector panel so that we can just drag and drop the game objects or the 3D models we want inside the script directly in the inspector. Now I'm going to create a user defined function. So I'm going with a public function, a void return type, and I'm going to name it as a point toggle function, where I can send a bool. Uh, I'm going to name it as new value. And if the new value is true, uh, I'm going to on the light. This new value bool is given from the button we placed in the UI, right? So that button is returning a true if we press the we toggle on the button, and if we toggle off it returns a false value. So we are going to use that, and I'm going to uh, set active the game object inside the unity scene, so that I'm using a point light dot set active equal to true, and in else case I'm going to point light dot set active of false, and I'm going to create another public void, and it's recommend the function using the IntelliSense. So I'm going to go with it. Direction toggle function. If the new value is true, I'm going to turn on the direction light. If the new value is false, I'm going to turn off the direction light. Like that, I'm going to write it the function for the spotlight too. If the spotlight uh, toggle button gives the true value, the spotlight is going to be on, and if the toggle button gives a false value, the spotlight is going to be off. So I have new value. So I'm heading back to the Unity editor. I can turn on the Skybox now, and I create a empty game object in the hierarchy so that I can place my script, and I'm naming it the script handler. You can name whatever you want, and I'm just drag and drop my script inside the script handler. In the script we have right before, and there is a public toggle button there. Since we are using the dynamic buttons, we can remove that. We can give we can assign the function directly to the button in the Unity editor itself, so we don't need the extra variables. So in the right side inspector panel, you can see the point light, spotlight, and direction light. You can drag and drop the point light to the point light section, and spotlight to the spotlight section, and direction light to the direction light section. Now, yeah, and there is an important step after this. Go to the canvas and point toggle button, scroll down. On the value changed, the Boolean value is returning inside the inspector panel, where you need to click the plus icon and drag and drop the script component we have just created. And in the function, go to the toggle function script we have added and give a point toggle for the point light, and go same for the spotlight. You can select the spot uh, toggle function and go for the direction toggle function in the direction light. So you can select all three and default select the is on to false for the default. Yeah. So this is main step, and this is over, and you can just press play, where in game window you can see if you tick the point light, it will give the point light on, and if you tick the spotlight, it will show the spotlight, and if you tick the direction light, it will give the direction light, and it will off also. Yeah, so this is a third experiment, B subdivision in our ARVR lab.